Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of What Does the Cat Say? uh, I'm right now recording at the new streaming space, and currently have the household pupper next to me, and she just gave me a look of like, what the hell are you doing? Also, want to first apologize for no podcast episode last week. I didn't really say anything, but last weekend I redid my return to stream. What are you looking at me for? Huh? Huh? The dog's still, the cutie bean. She just looked at me like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Yes, I'm making fun of you. But yeah, did my return to streaming last week. Played through all of Bioshock 1. And played through the base game of Infinite, and then started doing some of the DLCs this past week, and now getting back into the streaming schedule. Mainly right now because I got too much time on my hands since good God, the job market, even up here back in my home state here in the Northeast, is still kind of trash. I've already probably applied to at least a couple dozen places, both in the fields I'm trying to go to and just whatever, and seeing what sticks. So far, I have done one interview, and yeah, nothing has come out of it, which is a little annoying. I hope it's just that they, got caught up in stuff and hoping they hear back. But I'm about to probably be a delivery driver again. I have a little short interview tomorrow for a delivery driver position. So if I can get that, it'd be nice. It's, good pay, or relatively good pay. Permanent position, full time. And since it's, the holiday seasons are coming up, we'll be making bank during that. So that'll be nice. But I'm just excited now to be kind of, for the most part, fully moved in, fully settled in, and everything is good to go. And yeah, that's the part I'm excited for the most. Also, any ladies, gents, and non-binary ents that are in my listening into this, a little word of the wise: if you are needing to get your car registered in a new state, please make sure you do it before the registration you have expires. Because from what I'm dealing with right now is if I had let my registration still not expire when I had moved, and gotten my car registered back up here in the new state, apparently it would have just been fine. I would have been okay and been able to easily just go in, show them, pay whatever I need to, and call it. But since I technically don't have the title because I'm paying off a loan and the registration expired, I now had to get the proof of title thingamabob thing mailed to me, and still waiting. Which I don't get. It is 2025. Yes, I moved back into my hometown, which is a tiny little town. But again, it is 2025. They could have just emailed me the file. There was no option for that. The only more advanced option than just physically mailing it to here or to a DMV location was faxing, which of course we all know is the fastest form of alternative communication to handwriting a note and shoving up the ass of a pigeon and sending the pigeon on its way. So yeah, I'm kind of stuck with that. Still using my car, but can't really do any money on the ride share stuff since I need to have my car all registered and inspected up here. So yeah, that on life updates, there's that. One annoying thing is I tried to do some racing sim stuff to get back into trying out iRacing, since I have a year's worth of subscription already set up for it. And discovered a little bit of a design flaw that's not a flaw from the desk, but for what I need. And that is the desk has some thick bars holding it up, which is good because this thing is sturdy as hell. But the clamps that are on my racing wheel don't fit around them. So right now my racing wheel is clamped onto my desk by maybe like 5, 6, maybe 10 millimeters or something. I don't know how many, but like a ½ inch overhang, which it holds it in place so it stays on the desk and just fall to the ground. But when I try to do iRacing stuff because it has the force feedback, it immediately just was wobbling, and without trying, it fell into my lap. So yeah, I gotta figure that out. Which I have a plan. My goal is so I didn't realize this was an option. So I know for like racing sim stuff, you have what they call the full racing cockpit you can buy, which even the cheapest ones are still almost $200, where it's the chair and then has the brackets and stuff for you to place the steering wheel, the pedals, if you have a shifter, all that stuff in there. But apparently you can just get the stand part, not have to have the seat. So it's one of those things where I'm trying to decide if I just stick with that, because that would be more convenient, because I can use my computer setup as is. Where if I went and got the, saved an extra $100 and got the whole cockpit that I'm seeing, it would take up a lot of space. And I'd have to actually get a whole extra, separate table thing to hold the monitor. There'd be a little more involved. But granted, that's the more, dream setup. But I don't need that type situation quite yet. I'm just doing my usual thing of stretching myself very thin on interests and what have you. But going back into the streams, I'm happy they are going well. So far, this microphone, the Rode NT1, is sounding great. I've actually tweaked some stuff more for this specifically. I actually have lowered the gain from my audio mixer to the microphone, so I can have it a little closer to my face. Should pick up a little less background noise, because I do very much need to continue to work on adding some more sound dampening and absorbing solutions to my streaming room. I think the biggest thing is I am right next to a corner that's bare. I bet you if I put some bass traps in there and probably just get a little more done, because one thing I have noticed is if I'm standing in the center of my room and do a quick little, clapping test, it sounds fine. And the dogs are gonna be like, what the hell are you still doing? But sounds fine in the center of my room here, my streaming room. No real reverb that I can really hear. But the moment I get over here to my desk, because there is more flat surface, yeah, there's more reverb. And I'm going to try to do everything in my power to not cause my family members, aka my parents, whose house I'm in again, any kind of headache. I don't want to put anything on the ceiling, but so I'm going to try to do everything that I can do to prevent the need for that. And make it so it still sounds good, just for the little extra reverb control, for more, audio voiceover stuff if I do anything, or this podcast, where you can hear a little more of the background noise. But other than that, everything's going good, everything's fine. Thanks to some amazing VTubers who also do audio mixing on Twitter. One of them's called, I believe it's Coffee Cafe? Coffee Run. I got some cool new reverb filters and plugins for OBS that sound way better than some of the ones I was checking out. So if I ever decide that I want to hurt people's ears with singing, I can. I can. So that's also exciting, and I'm looking forward to that potentially. And yeah, just getting excited and ready for going forward. I'm excited next week because it kind of dates this. Next Friday, Silent Hill F comes out, so I'm looking forward to that. Um, and when it comes to what I'm going to be streaming going forward, I'm sticking with my chaotic varietyness, to be honest. But I will be picking certain dedicated days to have themed. So for right now, my streaming schedule is going to be Wednesday through Saturday, where Thursday is going to be my day where I stream Wild Assault, which is basically for Battlefield. And Saturdays are kind of the spooky stream days. Mainly I'm doing Thursdays for Wild Assault since the weeklies reset on Thursdays. So I think that'll just work the best there. And then Spooky Saturday just rolls off the tongue well. And also, potentially more viewers and community members have the evening off, so more people could come see me pee my pants. Which, speaking of peeing my pants, last night I was streaming a game called Mirror Forge, which according to Steam, and I started vaguely remembering, I had played not all of it. Definitely did not get through this far, but I got a few hours into the game. And honestly, when I first saw it in my Steam library again recently, I thought, oh, I should finally play this. Why does it have 3 hours on my account? And come to find out, I had started playing it a couple of years ago. Zero memory. And even now when I got through the parts that I've gotten through, very, very vague memories. All I remember was one specific part that had a spider creature thing jump scare me. That I immediately recognized when I got to that part. I got down the hallway and went, oh, I remember this, and prepped myself. But that game has been good so far. It's been quite creepy. A little annoying with some of the mechanics, with some of the monsters. It makes me heavily think of the first Amnesia game. But overall, it's fun and very spooky. So excited to complete that soon and whatnot. So am excited and going to start playing a few more multiplayer games. So maybe fellow community members can join in for some shenanigans. Yeah. But other than that, not much else is going on. Not really. Just now getting back into the groove of streaming, making some shorts, the clips, which I've got a couple new ones uploaded. I'm about to upload actually after this another one that's from Mirror Forge. That was one of the jump scares that really got me. And yeah, we'll see. Also, I just realized too that for some reason Audacity is only doing mono instead of stereo. Why? That's something for future me to figure out. But honestly, I think with that, I'm just gonna wrap up because I got nothing really new to talk about, nothing big to talk about that's worth talking about. I will be actually getting in touch with a VTuber who I am hoping will be my first guest soon. So I'll be poking them and seeing how that goes and what we can do, and finally put together a game plan of how little guest, episodes are and whatnot. But yeah, with that though, I just want to say I appreciate you all so much for listening in this week and hope you have a great week coming up and hope to see you next time.